could not pull off a third straight 2-0 sweep with the complimentary plays on Saturday, taking a split, winning with Southern California, but watching my Alabama pick fall by the wayside as that late line move pushed up the line on the Tide, resulting in a loss. But listen, the bottom line is on Saturday, the most important play of the day was the top-rated 15-dime release, my Saturday night bailout of the year release, which you got for only $34, well off the regular price of $99, over a half price off on Florida State. As I used the Seminoles for a second straight year as a top-rated 15-dime best bet in their annual clash with in-state rival Florida, and for the second straight season, watch the Seminoles roll to an easy double-digit win and cover. Hey everyone, DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. It's all about the NFL today. And listen, guys, with my NFL freebies, with the most recent one being the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving, I'm 29-13 and 3 with those selections so far this season, and I've got 3 more coming your way in just a moment, starting with your Baltimore-Cincinnati game. Quickly, though, I want to talk about Chris Jordan, because what an incredible 3-day stretch he has had, and he's going for, using a baseball analogy, the grand slam today. Thursday, you got the biggest play that he has in his 34 years as a handicapper. And yes, 34 years. These sites have been around for 15 years, but I knew Chris Jordan way back in the day when I was in the 900 telephone business. That's when I first met him. 34 years, he had his blank check game of the year. You got it for half price with the Lions on Thanksgiving. Then on Friday, he came out with his one and only triple year wager 3,000 star college game of the year selection and cashed in with Washington in the double-digit blowout road win against Washington State in the Apple Cup. Yesterday, did it again. First time in 34 years. Again, first time in 34 years in the business. He had a 4,000 star quadruple year wager play. He said it would be a 3-touchdown blowout. And was he right on the money with that one, with Penn State absolutely destroying Michigan State in Big Ten play? So he's made $1 bettors, $12,000 the past 3 days. And today, he has his one and only triple year wager 3,000 star NFL game of the year, and he says it's another 3-touchdown route. Now understand, these 3,000 star plays, he is 14-6-1 with these plays in all sports over the past 34 years, including a perfect 3-0 in the NFL. And it goes today, and it's another 3-touchdown mismatch. And you get it again for half price simply by using coupon code HALF, H-A-L-F. And the other featured big play today is Steve Buden's Cali Cartel with NFL winner number 15 out of 19 this season. 15 out of 19. It's on Denver and Kansas City, your Sunday night game. You get it for over half price off once again, just like their winner on Washington on Thursday, Oakland last Monday night, New Orleans covering at Carolina. Last Thursday, I could go on and on. You can check their homepage out for all the winners. You get it for over half price off by using coupon code CALI, C-A-L-I, CALI, for the Cali Cartel. Okay, let's talk about first the game between Baltimore and Cincinnati. Listen, the Bengals have certainly had the Ravens' number in this series, winning 5 straight in this series, straight up, and covering the last 3 of them, I believe. Joe Flacco has never played well against Cincinnati, 19 interceptions in 15 career games against the Bengals. But here's the thing. The Bengals should lose this game, and the Ravens better win this game, because they're never going to perhaps have a better chance to finally beat the Bengals. Listen, the Bengals are coming off a 16-12 home loss to the Bills last week. I gave you Buffalo last Sunday as a complimentary play. Andy Dalton, 24 for 43, 207 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He has been sacked 29 times this season. That's the 3rd most in the league. But that was more than just a straight-up loss for Cincinnati last week, because they lost A.J. Green, 66 catches, almost 1,000 yards this season. He's out with an injury. They lost one of their top 2 running backs, Gio Bernard, only 337 yards rushing, but 39 catches as well. He's out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. So when you consider how this Bengals offense has struggled this year, with Hugh Jackson, the former offensive coordinator, taking the Cleveland Browns head coaching job, with Mohamed Sanu leaving and going to the Falcons, with Marvin Jones no longer around anyway, this is a Bengals offense that, how the hell are they going to move the ball today? Yeah, the Ravens struggled last week with their defense at Dallas. But gee, hasn't everybody struggled against the Cowboys this season, right? So I think this is a great spot for the Ravens, considering the Bengals are 1-4-1 against straight up in their last 6 games. They're 1-4 straight up on the road this season. They're 2-8 ATS this season. Hell, their last one came October 23rd. It was against Cleveland. And you know what the Browns have done this year, right? So I'm going to go once again with Baltimore minus the 3.5 points, which I think is a dirt cheap price here. And again, anywhere between 3 and 4.5 points, I am buying down the half point and taking the Ravens as your free pick. Another freebie for you, I think another cheap price is Tennessee. Okay, the Titans lost last week in Indianapolis. They always lose to the Titans. Prior 7 games, they had averaged a little over 33 points a game. So the fact that they lost to the Colts in Indy 24-17, no big surprise. But listen, Marcus Mariota has really played some great ball here of late. You know, he played well last week against the Colts, 290 yards, 2 touchdowns. Problem is the offensive line afforded him no protection. He was sacked 5 times. But he has 19 touchdowns against only 3 interceptions in his last 7 games. And when you think that he's also run for a couple of scores as well, that's 22 touchdowns he's accounted for in the past 7 games. Problem with the Titans last week against the Colts, undisciplined play. They had 11 penalties for 109 yards. Now, you got a Bears team that blew a 16-6 lead at New York last week, eventually lost the game 22-16. Jay Cutler hurt his shoulder in the contest, so he is listed as doubtful today. But does anybody really think he's going to play? And with Brian Hoyer out with the broken arm, you got Matt Barkley probably going to start here today. Who's he going to throw the ball to? They lost their starting tight end, Zach Miller, who had 47 catches for the season, to a broken foot in the Giants game. They were already without Alshon Jeffrey, who's suspended for a PED violation. They also just lost their number 1 tackler and inside linebacker, Jarrell Freeman, to a suspension as well. I mean, John Fox has lost his team. The season is lost. Just get it over with. The Titans are playing for something, an above 500 record. And I think they win this game, and I think they win this game comfortably here today. Again, I just think the Bears are a piece of crap, to be quite honest with you. There's a reason this team has gone 3-9 against the spread in its last 12 games at home. There's a reason this team is 4-11 against the spread in its last 15 games overall. So I'm going to go with Tennessee in this contest. Now, on your late card, I thought about giving you Seattle, and I still like Seattle. If you happen to watch the NFL Countdown, the kickoff show I do with Steve Budin, I still do like Seattle, but that number is up to 6, and I don't know, just a little worried here with the Seahawks, especially now that they're also going to be without Earl Thomas today, who's going to miss his first game after starting 118 consecutive games, regular season and postseason combined, because he's out with a hamstring injury. Instead, on the show, Steve and I differed. He liked Carolina. I like Oakland. I think he's wrong. I know the Raiders are at a disadvantage because they played in Mexico City on Monday night, and now they're coming back home on the short week, a holiday week, lack of preparation time against a Carolina team that had the extra days of preparation because they played in that Thursday night game against New Orleans. But listen, the way the Raiders are playing, they've won 4 straight games, 7 of their last 8. Their last home win, remember, they dominated the Broncos. 2 quick touchdowns to take an early lead. They were up 30-13 in the fourth quarter of that game. So when you see the final score was, 30-20, it really was deceiving because they dominated. I think they ran for 218 yards in that contest. This Carolina team is a money burner. 0-4-1 against the spread, their last 5 on the road. 3-9 against the spread, their last 12 regular season games going back to last season. Lousy secondary, porous all season long, and it has a lot more to do than just losing Josh Norman to free agency. By the way, what a head case Josh Norman is. What is he, the most penalized player in the NFL right now? I mean, when you are constantly getting calls on yourself and you're not an offensive lineman and you're in the secondary, there's something wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. You are not disciplined. You are not helping your team. But we'll talk about Josh Norman and the head case that he is another day. Listen, and this Carolina team, again, they're a money burner. Their pass defense is number 27 in the league. Gee, Derek Carr's kind of hot. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. I think they're a cheap price, minus the 4 points at home. And again, between 3 and 4.5, I am absolutely buying down the half point on Oakland in this contest. Interesting to note that, remember, 2 weekends ago, the underdogs went 9-5 against the spread with 8 outright upsets. The favorites went 10-4 last week. So far this week, after the Thanksgiving Day games, you had the favorites go 2-1 with the only dog covering being Washington. It'd be interesting to see where the chips fall at the end of today's action. That'll do it, guys. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.